Hey everyone, welcome back to K&S Exposed
Welcome.
for another weekly beautiful
Experiment in
experiment.
cinema.
I'm Kay, Kristy,
And I am S, Sean.
and we are exposed. This week was not my
We
movie.
weren't the only ones exposed
Yes,
this week.
we weren't.
We're not.
No, we weren't. No. This was Sean's movie pick this week, and he exposed to me, and it was, if you listened to us last week, you already know what it was. It was
1998's Wild Things by John McNaughton.
Now, to those of you listening at home, you're probably thinking, really, Kristy, you haven't seen this? I have not. For some reason, I thought I saw some of it, but not in its entirety. And just, maybe just like bits and pieces. But clearly, in watching it tonight, I've not seen this at all. So it was definitely an experience for me. I thought I was going to need a cigarette immediately after, or even during, for that matter. So far, I've held off. So, but the night is young. So after this podcast, I might need a few cigarettes. It was definitely okay. I guess I should say, without ever seeing this movie, if you've never seen this and you're listening, but you should know the premise of this movie already, and its sexual nature is, if I'm using the correct wording,
It's an erotic thriller.
It's an
that's
erotic thriller. Very good.
Much in the same way as like a Basic Instinct or a Skinamax movie might be.
Yes. Pretty hot. It's pretty hot. Throw in, forget erotic thriller. You've got erotic thriller. You've got a little Basic Instinct. You've got a little Skinamax going, where to a couple scenes I was thinking, geez, I feel kind of, weird watching this. I mean, hopefully kids aren't watching this. I mean, it was pretty hot. It was pretty steamy.
It was an R-rated movie.
But you said they scaled it down.
Well, we watched the unrated cut. We
did?
Yes, we watched the full-on director's cut.
Okay, so
which is like 7 minutes longer than the actual theatrically released film.
So steamier scenes, then?
I haven't done a side-by-side comparison and know what's different.
We just know it was 4K.
I'm assuming there was some more lingering shots on Denise Richards in this cut versus the original cut. And the only reason I say that is I don't believe I've ever watched the director's cut before tonight.
Okay.
And I don't feel like there's nothing I watched in this that I was like, oh, that wasn't in the version I saw. Yeah. So I think it was just longer held shots on people. Like the Kevin Bacon infamous exposure moment.
Wow.
That was in the theatrical cut of the movie. You could see that on the big screen.
You could. I'm still processing, because I actually knew there was Kevin's bacon was going to be in this, but I didn't know when it was going to come into play, because I was confused. He was the cop. Are you good cop? Are you bad cop? I just know I'm going to see your penis at some point. I had to wait till the very end of the movie, but that was okay because you're in the shower. Nice ass, by the way. Jesus Christ. Whew. That's where the cigarettes come in, pretty much.
I just want to remind you, this was like 14 years after Footloose.
Yes.
So this is like matured.
He's been keeping up the ass work, though.
Matured.
Like, that wasn't a stunt double.
Oh, God,
I mean,
no.
that's all.
No,
Kevin does his own ass work.
He was smiling that whole time
and
for the camera so that everybody
his own
knew
penis
that
work.
It was
and he was hung. Sorry, you cut me off on hung. I just want to get that in there.
Imagine how hung that would have been on the big screen.
I know.
Probably would have been as tall as I am on the big screen.
Like even an IMAX?
Oh, well,
like, yeah, I mean, you're starting to see Wild Things. Is IMAX showing Wild Things?
IMAX is not showing Wild Things.
Well, they should, because that's a big penis that's like 5 stories high.
But
right?
You did see E.T.'s finger on IMAX
I did.
last week.
That was huge.
Basically the same thing.
The same thing. His finger wasn't as erect, I don't think, actually, as Kevin Bacon, but, what do I know? It was a nice scene. My only problem with that scene, I'm going to tell you. There was one little problem with that scene, where he turned and we saw all of his bacon and all his glory.
What was wrong with that?
The scene was way too short.
Well,
it was like a 5-second penis.
Here's the funny part.
Can we get some more penis?
Here's the funny part. Total accident.
What do you mean?
Was not scripted.
Penis was he ad-libbed his penis?
No, it was a proper accident. They shot the scene like 3 times. Matt Dillon, was supposed to throw him the towel.
Yeah.
And he was supposed to catch it and wrap it around as he got out of the shower. And, they filmed it like 3 or 4 different times, to get the shot. The editor used the take with the penis without anybody knowing, including
I thank him for it.
Including the director.
I would call him and thank him if I had his phone number.
Actually. It
was
a her.
Well, of course it was. Jesus.
And
what a smart lady.
And the director, when he watched the assembly cut, was like, whoa, we didn't get any clearance, from, there's no nudity clause one way or the other with Kevin Bacon.
But his butt was going to be in it.
Well, yeah, but nobody cares
But nobody cares about his butt.
Well,
I mean, I do.
And so
I'm all about Kevin's ass. But.
So the director, said we can't do this. He goes, why did you use this take? And she was like, it's not fair. And they're like, well, what's not fair? And she's like, there's naked women and beautiful women all the time in movies.
Also, Kevin Bacon's executive producer, so he obviously cleared it.
Oh no, he cleared it. He knew.
He cleared his penis.
Knew. It's not like suddenly, the opening night of this movie at Cannes.
Oh, I know.
All of a sudden, there's just
let me ask you this.
Johnson.
Let me ask you this.
I learned this just tonight watching the interview with the director
with McNaughton.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. I already know the answer, but let's just do it anyway. Wouldn't you clear it to be in the movie?
God. I mean, yeah. Why not?
I mean, Jesus, it's okay.
I would be helicoptering.
Yeah, right. I know. I think Matt Dillon was like, dude, I just got upstaged by Kevin's Bacon. Maybe.
Yeah,
I mean
Dillon does most of the work in this film, and Kevin Bacon comes along and
we did not see
certain scenes.
We also did not see any Dillon penis either. No. I think...
Has Dillon even done any nudity in any of his movies? You've seen more Matt Dillon movies than I have.
I don't recall.
But I don't believe... obviously he's shirtless a lot.
Shirtless a lot.
And, if I had a chest like Matt Dillon's, I'd be shirtless all the time.
I'm not going to lie. As much as I've heard about this goddamn movie from you and a couple friends, and hence why we made it the Exposed movie, is because I've never seen it. What do you... I honestly thought for the first time in my life I was going to see Matt Dillon's penis. I just figured I would.
Did you just remember that a penis was going to be shown and you couldn't
I had heard from a couple people we were going to see Kevin Bacon's.
Okay.
I knew that was coming. I was as the whole movie was going along, I'm just like, I'm actually confused. Like I said earlier. Good cop, bad cop. When am I going to see good penis, bad penis?
As the story unfolds, as the movie progresses, you realize that Dillon's penis is ever present, even though it's not on camera.
Is. But I didn't get to see it.
Dillon's penis is what brings everyone together, really.
It really does. But yes, it does.
Like Lebowski's rug. It just brings everything together.
If you really think about it, I haven't done my Letterboxd review, by the way, and I'm going to do that after our podcast, because I'm still digesting this movie. There's a lot to digest. But I do want to say, the movie loses half a star because I didn't see Dillon's penis. Wow. I'm not going to lie. I mean, the movie's the poorer for it.
You didn't see Dillon's penis in E.T. either. Why does that...
Dillon's penis in E.T.?
Yeah.
Where are you going with that? That was C. Thomas Howell.
Right. So you did not see Dillon's penis in E.T. Why is that a 5-star movie?
Oh, I see where you're going with this. You can't I was like, C. Thomas Howell was one of the kids. I thought you were confusing him with Matt Dillon. No. Because know your movies, Sean.
I mean, you have a beautiful poster of The Outsiders right there.
A 5-star movie.
You don't see Dillon penis in that
That's
either.
a very good point. That's not where I'm going. You're missing my point. You're absolutely right. The Outsiders, we did not see his penis, and he was shirtless a lot in that. But not a lot, some. But I think, basically, as much as I've heard about this goddamn movie, 1998, I just turned 51 years old. I've never seen this movie, so do the math. I thought
you just turned 51 now, not in 1998.
No. Sorry, the movie's 1998. I just turned 51 a couple days ago, or a week ago. As much as I've heard about this movie, I knew I was going to see Kevin's penis.
Yeah.
I just figured I was going to see Matt's too, because I heard about threesomes. This is not a surprise. Is this a family show? Kids, parents, check your kids before they listen to this. Just because there's a lot of,
talk to your kids about Kevin Bacon's penis.
Yes, the more you know.
Before they find out about Kevin Bacon's penis for themselves.
Right, because I'm going to say the billing of this movie is, as I said when we started it, I was fascinated. I figured the four of these guys, the foursome, was going to be, okay. It was in order: Kevin Bacon, Kevin Bacon's penis.
Yes.
Matt Dillon,
right?
Then Nev Campbell.
What a spoiler alert was it to get the penis credited right away?
I mean, before Nev Campbell. She must have had an issue with that. Must have been in his contract. He was executive. Kevin Bacon was executive producer. He can do what he wants, Sean.
That's true.
Including putting his penis as second billing. Also, this should be a drinking game. If you're listening at home, every time I say penis or we say penis, you have to do a shot at this point, right? Because it's going to be said again, people. So we're not repeating ourselves. This is just a penis movie.
Yeah. I find it funny that we're now 12 minutes into this recording.
Yes.
And we've spent the most time talking about something that shouldn't have been in the movie to begin with. Or wasn't intended.
Oh, it wasn't intended because it was an accident. Right. Exactly.
So this was
but anyway, I thought it was funny, back to the billing, that I was waiting for Denise Richards to come in right before the Wild Things credit.
Sure, yeah.
She did not. So I thought, okay, for sure, right after they show Wild Things. Because you want your name before the movie name comes on. And then Teresa...
And introducing credits.
Oh, and introducing. Exactly.
But obviously, all four of these actors had done big roles prior to this movie. Also, anyway, before I go there, after the Wild Things logo, Teresa Russell actually came first. Yeah, which is
interesting. Who had the smaller role than Denise? But is it because she had her more of a career with longevity, or like she's? Well, I don't. That was just interesting.
She definitely has a long career as far as she's been in a lot of movies, including a lot of erotic thrillers.
Okay,
but why?
And was perfect as Denise Richards' mom.
I don't know if it was stunt casting, honestly, to have a veteran of erotic cinema and by that I don't mean pornographic cinema. I just mean like Skinamax type movies.
Right.
In this movie, as kind of like an ode to the movies that came before, or not. And that might be why she's credited over Denise Richards. But I'm shocked that anybody would... the top four billing should be the foursome. It really should. Teresa's great in the scenes that she's in.
But that could be said, you see, we can't even talk about her career of what it was, because Robert Wagner, as an example, is old school.
Yeah.
Come on, it's Robert Wagner.
Yeah.
He's got a little bit of stigma behind him. Over the years, I understand that we know why Natalie Wood, obviously, is a main thing. But, he is Robert Wagner, and interesting. He was lower on the list. But then again...
He had a smaller part.
He had a smaller part, not as significant. But it's... You know what should have also had, credits? Denise Richards' boobs. Look, I'm...
By the way, Robert Wagner always looks to the side as if his dick is out.
Yes, I noticed that.
He's always concerned that somebody's looking at him incorrectly.
Did you notice he kept turning to the side and just freezing with that face?
Yeah.
It was kind of annoying.
But he does that. If you actually go watch the Austin Powers movies, which
that's true.
He has a patch over one eye, but he still does the exact same thing.
But I do think Denise Richards' boobs should have gotten credit in this. honestly, look, I'm a chick. I get it. You dudes watch this. You're like, keep showing her boobs. I mean, I quit counting after like 20 times. I mean, and it's like, I mean, you just, look, it's going to sound bad. And guys hate when women do this. I know it because they think, oh, you're just jealous because she's skinny and she's got pretty boobs and, she's pretty. That has nothing to do with it. I don't find her, she's got a nice body, don't get me wrong. Mm-hmm. She's not ugly, I'll give you that. I just don't find, I've seen prettier women.
No.
And you're just stop using your boobs, act with what you're acting with. Quit acting with your tits.
I don't have anything bad to say about Denise Richards. I really don't. But I've never really, she's a cute enough actress.
Yeah.
And she's not a terrible actress.
I like her in Starship Troopers.
Yeah, but she took her clothes off in that too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And she was in, like I said, she was Christmas Jones. And,
isn't she T-Rex in the
T-Rex?
Italian T-Rex. Wait, did she have her clothes on in that?
Completely.
The whole time, right?
The whole time. She does that little dance in the lingerie at the end.
That was a long time ago. She figured I got to start, taking my clothes off
that was years before any of these movies. But, at least 4 years, I think, before.
I don't know, just something about her. And it started, and I was just like, oh, your acting is just fucking killing me.
She's...
Like, there's no Oscars here, people.
If you took someone like Margot Robbie...
Okay.
Took half her talent away as an actress and made her look more plastic...
Okay.
You get a Denise Richards.
Oh, see, I really wish you wouldn't have thrown Margot in there. Because I think Margot's beautiful.
Oh, she's gorgeous.
She's gorgeous. I know you said half. Take half of her. But I really just don't even think you should throw taking half of this or half of that, whatever. You shouldn't throw Margot and Denise Richards in the same sentence. Shame on you.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry, Margot.
Yeah, you really should. Margot,
I love you, and I can't wait for Barbie.
Yeah, and if you're listening, Margot, Sean doesn't know what he's talking about.
Here's the thing. 20 years ago, this movie's like 25 years old now, 24 years old.
Right.
Anyway, 24
You're
years ago, if they made,
right?
So are you.
Yeah.
So don't give me any of that lip.
Well, do the math.
Yeah, so
it's 24 years.
24 years.
Okay. I'm just saying I didn't have to bring out my calculator for that.
24 years ago, if they were making a Barbie movie, they would have cast Denise Richards.
Okay. Sure. Not the point. You can't talk about 2022 versus 1998.
Why can't I adjust?
Well, also, Denise Richards, you're making bad decisions. Charlie Sheen, let's just throw that in there right there. Okay?
They made a lot of people made bad decisions with Charlie Sheen.
Yes, but she was breeding at least 3 times with them. Don't they have 3 daughters? They have at least 2. I think they have 3. Oh my God, those kids are going to be fucked up. So, but just bad decisions, Denise. And if you're listening, I apologize. I'm just not a super big fan. But that being said, if you're a dude and you're watching this, you can probably sit there all you want and listen to me say this and just go, Kristy doesn't know what she's talking about. It's
as a dude who sits here and watches this, look, I did not get, as a 41-year-old man, I did not get the same thrill as I did watching this as an 18-year-old kid.
Sure.
I'm in a different mindset now. I'm a little bit older. I will still say this because I thought it in '98 and I think it now. Neve Campbell's way fucking hotter than Denise Richards.
Exactly. Now, as you know, I'm a huge
and of course, Neve Campbell kept her clothes on in this movie.
No, I was just gonna say that
I'm gonna say I wish she didn't.
Yeah.
But it was probably smart for her career that
as we were watching this, I said, okay, this is interesting. Like, even in the pool scene with Denise and Neve.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, is she gonna take? I'm so confused. Like, and then even in the threesome, she finally. I go, she hasn't even taken her shirt off. And then I went, oh wait, there it is. But I mean, showing her back, like you even said, we don't even know if that was really Neve. That could have been a body double because based on that scene.
It could have been.
But look, Neve, if you're listening, I appreciate you, and it was probably in your contract that you're not going to show your boobs. And although you are going to participate in a threesome and in girl on girl,
it's called acting.
It's called acting. I will say this because I have to just throw it out there. Of all the things I heard Okay, I already said I thought I was going to see Matt Dillon something. Yeah. Of all the things I've heard about this movie and the eroticism and the sex, how do I word this? It was
built up.
I thought it was gonna be like 10 times more hardcore.
Yeah,
but I think it was because it's been built up all these years.
Yeah, and
I'm not to say I wasn't disappointed. I was just like, oh, okay, there's that.
I think it also has to do with I was, probably the target demographic for this movie. When it came
you
out.
Think?
I mean, just because of the stars of the time and how old I was at the time. But also, 1998 was a simpler time. The internet just pretty much became available. That was the year I got
Friends was still a thing.
Friends was still a thing.
Pre 9/11.
Right, it was pre 9/11. You couldn't just get pornography at the drop of a hat if one wanted to. Right. I was still in the generation that you had to work for it. You had to sneak a Playboy. You had to, figure yourself out. Things just weren't a click away.
I get it.
And so we built up things
this.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
And so there's kind of like a little bit of a legend before, movies were like, oh my God, I can't believe she's naked. Or other movies that had nudity that sometimes we didn't even know had nudity in it.
Right.
Like, I always go back to, it's a terrible movie, but Revenge of the Nerds. When I watched that as a kid, I saw it on cable so much,
right.
or on television. So we're talking edited with commercials. I had no clue there was nudity in that movie until, one time I rented the VHS tape, years later.
Interestingly enough, back to what you're saying, the Dillon thing, I had to look this up really quick because it was driving me nuts. Mm-hmm. Couple of scenes Matt Dillon was talking, and I thought, boy, dude, you are doing your character from There's Something About Mary. Just the inflections in his voice, very much a similar character. Just the way he said a couple of his lines. And Something About Mary was the same year. That's interesting to me.
Was it really? Yeah.
Yes, they're both 1998. And that's interesting to me because now, honestly, I feel like, just not going to lie, I feel like I need to put on There's Something About Mary just to cleanse myself.
Both characters wore the same wardrobe. I can tell you that much because they.
But literally, I feel like I need to watch that to cleanse myself. Not, he was not the greatest character, meaning good guy, and There's Something About Mary. But he wasn't having threesomes, and he wasn't, plotting murders and etc.
He would if he could.
I don't know.
He was ready to get in bed with anybody, and There's Something About Mary.
But they're two different fucking movies, is what I'm saying.
Yes,
and I get it. No, and I get it. But it's just, isn't that interesting? Same year.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, how actors get in? They obviously get into character, and you talk to, or you see the behind the scenes later of the making of the movie or whatever, and a lot of the co-stars will say, "Oh, he never left his character.
Yeah.
Like he didn't leave his character. Method acting, like Daniel Day-Lewis. I mean, those big heavy hitters that do that, and it's like, how do you segue from There's Something About Mary to? It's just fascinating to me. But you're Matt Dillon.
It's called acting.
And what would we know? Because we're not actors, right? So There's Something About Mary was July of 98.
Yeah, but who knows when the shoot was compared
that's true too. And then March of 98 was Wild Things. I'm just saying. It was a
good year for Matt Dillon.
It was a good year, and you were lots of hot women. Sure, because I think Cameron Diaz is, attractive.
Oh, Cameron Diaz is really
and sure. There's Something About Mary is really funny, too.
Oh, it's hilarious.
It's a great movie. I'm just saying, let's just say, what if you were working consecutively on them both?
Well,
boy, interesting. I don't know. That's something I can look up later. I won't bore our listeners with that now, but just letting you know. Both movies came out in 98. And I have to say, because one of the worst lines of this movie... Teresa Russell, girl, I'm not making fun of you because you're not a terrible actress, but my daughter does not get raped at Blue Bay. Okay, you know what scene I'm talking about.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my! And by the way, folks, I'm not an actress, so I did not do that justice. Okay, where is she getting raped then? You know what I mean? It's a stupid fucking line. She does not get raped at, you know, and it was just terrible. Like this, that was like what, 15, 20 minutes in, and I went,
it's
why is
also
this
like,
terrible?
bitch, you live there.
Exactly.
Like, or she goes to school there.
And you slept with Matt Dillon as well.
Right.
So, and you were still trying to sleep with him. Remember when he dropped Denise off at home?
Sure.
She was still trying, come in for a drink. Oh my gosh. Okay, whore mom, whore daughter. Just whatever. The apple doesn't fall too far from the tree. Just saying. But that was a terrible line. And I literally, that was, I think, the first 20 minutes, and I thought, what is this movie? Well, maybe this is why I never watched this.
Denise Richards can toss out some terrible lines, too, so...
Yeah, I already...
I mean, again, like you
noted,
said, apple and tree. Or
no,
acorn and tree.
The first half an hour was completely annoyed by Denise. And you even said, which I appreciate, I literally paused the movie and said, this acting is terrible. Okay, I know you're gonna like show your body in wet shorts.
You were
like,
specifically talking about the
maybe the courtroom scene.
The deposition scene where she's being videotaped.
Yes, and we all knew that was fake.
Sure,
and I've never even seen the movie. I'm just saying it wasn't. You said that's part of her character.
Yeah,
Kristy.
she is a bad actress in the movie, not an actress in the professional sense.
No, but
a bad. She's telling lies and she's doing them very poorly.
Right, but even the cop, the chick cop, said, "Yeah, assuming anything happened at all, because she's clearly acting."
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, first of all, let's not call it acting. Okay, let's not, because that's not what it was.
Well, yeah, in the legal system, they're called liars.
Well, no, it was terrible acting, so it wasn't acting. That could not be. I could act better than that. I'm just saying, I think I could. And I have no drama background whatsoever. So, that was terrible. And then I got it, maybe her character got a little bit better in terms of it. She's just like, I love you, to Matt Dillon, like, shut up. Oh my gosh. She's just... I don't know. I was annoyed. I don't know why I was annoyed. It was supposed to be like this thriller, and I'm just like, you're just annoying me.
Well, you're not supposed to like that character.
I guess not. I'll tell you who I did like is Bill Murray. Bill Murray was
such
good
a
in
cool
this.
character too.
Such a cool character. He, granted, he's always funny in his own with his own little nuances, but he's great. Why are you wearing that thing around your neck? Oh, well, it's just. I don't have to wear it all the time. It's just if this insurance guy's been coming around. He's just so he's just great with the. He was good in this. I did really enjoy him.
He's wonderful in it.
And then interesting at the end.
Yes.
Wow. Yeah. Are we not spoiling anything? Right?
I don't know. We haven't really talked much about it.
Okay.
To begin
well,
with,
anyway, so I had so many questions. Not gonna lie. I really take movies seriously. Like, I know sometimes you just sit down and watch, brainless ones. And you don't have to think too hard.
Me?
Huh? Yeah, sorry, me. Usually me. Shut up. Don't judge. I think that, like, the first 30 minutes, it was obvious. Before the courtroom scene, I wrote my little note that said, clearly Denise and Nev are in cahoots. That was obvious because they both used the same line. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but that's what I think is really fun about this movie.
No, I know. I agree.
Is that you're walking into this kind of noir movie that you don't know who to trust, and and instead of one femme fatale, you have possibly upwards of 3 if you count Teresa Russell,
right,
and involved here. The movie just keeps spiraling and spiraling and spiraling. There's no way you can predict this movie's direction within even 30 minutes of watching it, because it splinters off and there's so many red herrings and there's so many.
Yeah, but like when they were fighting in the pool and she's trying to drown Nev. And literally, I don't know if I said it out loud or not, but she's like trying to drown her, and with that big terrible cell phone, which was obviously made for pools, right? Remember that?
I'm assuming because it had a weird
handle. I think it was so you could like
It
You know
would
that
float
all the
maybe or
rich
something.
people back there would just float in their hot tub.
I mean,
you
I
what
don't know anything about it. I was never that rich.
Yeah,
so.
well, I'm just saying. All those
Still
movies
not that rich.
Yeah, but
I still can't put my cell phone in the pool.
yeah, we should get one of those for the pool.
2022.
2022.
Still can't drop a
That thing
phone
was
in the pool.
yeah, that's true. Yeah, right. Yet Denise Richards is on that bad boy.
Yeah.
Look it up, people. I think that was a pool phone made specifically for water. But when they're like fighting and she's trying to drown her, and then all of a sudden she gets her on the stairs and the pool stairs, and Nev starts crying, and I was like, oh Jesus, here we go. Like, of course they're gonna make out, but yet you still don't know the whole story yet. And by the way, I'm not a prude. I didn't care that they made out or anything. I guess it's adding a little more eroticism to the movie, but it was just weird. Like, all of a sudden, like, I'm watching Denise's horrible acting, and then, oh my God, we're fighting, and then, oh my God, Nev is taking off your bathing suit, and it's just like, what? Like, whose story was this? You know what I mean? Like, this is... But again, you said it earlier. It's for a targeted audience, obviously.
Oh, yeah, it was for a targeted
fucking
audience.
teenage
It wanted
boys.
teenage boys. And look, this could have been a terrible movie. And I mean terrible
Absolutely.
movie. All this movie needed to be terrible is change the cast.
Oh, for sure.
If you
it wouldn't have
replaced
not.
this
It would
cast
have.
with-
It had no legs.
It would have went straight to Cinemax,
Yep.
and they probably would have increased the nudity.
Skinemax.
Cinemax,
Yes.
right? They probably would have increased the
I agree.
nudity, made it more exploitative, and the actual. I mean, it could still have been like a fun potboiler,
Yeah.
thriller sort of thing, but it would never have been taken seriously.
Right.
It would never have gotten a
And
theatrical
I'm not
release.
and I'm not dissing the sex. The sex is part of it. Like, as you said, erotic thriller, Basic Instinct ish, kind of thing.
Basic Instinct was way more hot than this, though.
I think so.
Yeah, way
yeah,
more.
yeah.
I mean, I
think
don't know
so.
how long it's been since.
I mean,
you've seen it,
that put Sharon Stone on the fucking map. I
Yeah.
mean, like the infamous scene that we all know.
Yeah, but there's lots of scenes in
no,
that movie
I agree.
that if the infamous interrogation scene of Basic Instinct didn't exist,
Yeah.
another scene would fill that void
Also-
immediately as the most talked about scene.
Also gave Michael Douglas yet another role where he could,
Beat on a woman.
like, no, just bang all the fucking chicks.
Yeah.
Like, hello, a la Fatal Attraction. I mean, you and Glenn Close, I mean, what's hotter? This is actually a good question. I know we're segueing, but this is what we do if you listen to us. Glenn Close and Michael Douglas in Fatal Attraction.
Okay.
Or Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone.
Michael Douglas and Sharon Stone.
Really?
100%.
Okay.
You know what?
I mean, the Glenn Close scenes are pretty hot.
Sharon Stone's going to stab me with an ice pick,
Yeah, that's true.
but she's not going to kill my bunny.
Yeah, that's true. I haven't seen Basic Instinct in a long time. Didn't she have a lesbian lover in that too? I thought she did.
I haven't
I
seen it in a
think
long
she
time,
did.
but
I've
I
not
think
seen
she
that.
did too.
Yeah.
I don't remember who the actress was, though.
Anyway, just saying, Michael Douglas was getting tail back then.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it was a very hot time for Michael Douglas. And then, he ended up with Catherine Zeta-Jones. God bless you.
Which is a good choice to settle down
Yes,
with.
it is. Yes, it is.
I mean,
what is that
the
old saying?
bipolarism might not have been easy.
What's that old game? The one you fuck. The
Fuck,
one.
marry, kill?
Fuck, marry, kill. Thank you. So Michael Douglas definitely did the marry with.
With Catherine.
Yeah.
Zeta-Jones.
Who is the finer choice of the three crazies there? I would say.
I guess.
I
I
guess.
don't know who the third crazy. Oh, Glenn Close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the kill.
Kill that bitch.
Yeah. I mean, you're fucking Sharon. Yeah, exactly. Good way to put it. Dave. And then marry, and then kill Glenn Close. See, I just wrapped that up for you, Michael Douglas.
So we spoiled 3 movies for you.
So yeah, in one exposed episode.
And not even Wild Things.
Yeah.
3 other movies.
Look, people, if you don't want spoilers, don't listen to us. Because it's going to happen. McNaughton,
Yeah.
the director.
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. When I saw he was directing this, I had heard his name before.
I've seen very few of his films.
Yes, but as you know, he did Henry.
Yep.
Portrait of a Serial Killer.
The excellent Henry
we
Portrait
have
of a
to
Serial
talk about, which we're not going to talk too much because we don't want to segue from Denise Richards' boobs too much here, but that is an excellent movie. And what put Michael... I'm a huge Michael Rooker fan, so I love him. I think he's handsome. This put him on the map. That put him on the map. Henry did, right?
Did not find him very attractive in Henry.
Oh, I'm not saying I found him attractive in Henry. No, I meant when he started, and then he did Days of Thunder.
Oh, sure.
Like, I mean, as he played Rowdy in that, and then Cliffhanger. Jesus, with Stallone.
Yeah, he just did banger after banger.
Yeah, and then
he still does.
And then what was the Mary Poppins?
Oh, Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy. But I'm saying what put him on the map, I feel, was when he was introduced, should we say.
Henry every day of the week.
Yes, but I didn't mean I was in love with him in that. I actually saw that in a little Mill Avenue Arts Theater. Little trivia for you there. And little tidbit. And that's when I was like, this guy's amazing. And then, of course, the movies after that, Days of Thunder, where I was like, that's Henry. Okay, we segued with Michael Rooker here, but anyway, that's McNaughton.
Yes, McNaughton.
I was, when you told me he was the director, I was like, okay, dude, that's kind of cool.
He's got a real interesting, like, eclectic selection of films, because none of them really have, like, a common theme going through it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't really...
Maybe he just likes weird shit.
Or he just takes the scripts that are handed to him, with minimal selection process. I don't know. I mean, I'm not critiquing him.
No.
He's certainly a competent director. He just doesn't he doesn't really have his own style to me, that a Spielberg would have, or a Kubrick would have, or Lynch would have, or something where you watch a movie and you're like, oh, that's a John McNaughton movie. I don't see that happen.
Yeah. No, but I dig it. What's funny is...
I'm sorry, David McNaughton.
It's
John McNaughton.
It's John.
I keep confusing him with John McTiernan, who's the director of Die Hard.
Okay.
And other action
Well, can we get our director straight? Because we have to give the folks facts there.
It's hard.
Yeah.
But yes. I'll make a concerted effort.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I think, I wrote a couple notes down during the movie, like stupid shit. Like, before I knew what was going on. Why, when he came out...
Just like boobs.
Yeah, boobs was written down a lot, and Denise, horrible acting, that was written down several times. Which I know there's a couple of my friends listening right now who will remain nameless, you know who you are, that are going, Jesus Kristy, stop it with the horrible acting and ripping on Denise. I don't care. I get to say my piece. It's how I feel. She's annoying.
I'm a fan of some movies that she is in. She is not a terribly talented actress. She's not.
No.
She is not.
She is not. Nev in this? Okay, first of all, I'm a Nev fan. Not just because of Scream. As you know, I started watching her on Party of Five back in the day. Hence that picture I got autographed when she was just here of Party of Five. That's when she really got her big, her start, when she was on Party of Five. And Nev was definitely the better actress in this.
Oh yeah.
And on the boob front, you didn't show anything, but I got you, girl. I think that's cool. It was inferred. I was going to say that. I didn't know if that sounded right. It was inferred, and it was still hot. It was still sexy. All of that. And she was just, and then, Jesus, at the end, when everything came together, that's why all my notes went out the window, because I had all these notes, like when Kevin Bacon said Denise shot him in the shoulder, so I had to return fire.
Yeah.
First of all, I was like, dude, you're totally lying right now in the interrogation, because that acting was terrible as far as I knew he was lying. But I'm like, why do you have to shoot her in the chest? Okay, well, I had notes like this all over the place, and then obviously we see the ending, and none of my notes mattered. The only problem I have with this movie, plot-wise, it's all over the goddamn place, which I know is part of it, and I'm not dissing on it. Don't get me wrong, listeners. I'm really not. The problem with having a movie built up over a lot of years, it's never good. It's never good. I've had that happen to a lot of movies. I've heard it. I've heard so much shit about it, and then I see it, and I'm disappointed.
You came in to this movie with the preconceived notion that this is a sexy movie.
Yeah.
You only got one penis. You didn't get the two that you were looking for. And then you got a lot of plot thrown at you. A lot of plot. This movie begs for you to pay attention to it.
I didn't mind the plot. It was just all over the place.
I
can't keep up.
My point with having like preconceived notions, it's like if I'm walking into a noir film, like I saw the Del Toro's remake of Nightmare Alley last year, which has very much has noir elements to it. I walk in, mind open, ready to absorb everything that's thrown at me because I know some twists and turns are going to come my way.
Sure.
And I know that there's some sultriness, that's somebody's going to get deceived, by somebody else and all this. If you just think this is like erotic thriller, well, we've all watched shitty movies on HBO and Cinemax, in our youth where we're like, oh, okay, I don't expect it to be taken this seriously.
Right.
I just expect it to be like the plot is only going to get me from one sex scene to another to the next.
No, I get that.
And so if I went into this movie with that notion,
right,
I might actually be disappointed because it's not what I was looking for. And I'm not saying you're disappointed in it.
No.
But
Look, I knew what I was walking into. I guess my point is, at one point I paused the movie and I looked at you, and I do this often, I know, because I like to make sure I'm understanding the plot correctly. I literally paused it. I actually rewound at one point and I went, okay, huh? Like when they went to talk to the grandma, who is not Nev Campbell's grandma, but you know what I mean. And she's telling the story. Remember to the chick cop who, no, I'm just taking the day off. I just want to know some stuff. Okay, well then all of a sudden, Jesus, I can't even keep up. So Nev Campbell and Denise Richards' mom are half sisters, which makes Denise Nev Campbell's niece. And I think I'm getting the story right here. Okay, so first of all, you're making out with your niece in the swimming pool. Okay, with tongue, so that's already weird. But then again, you brought up a very good point of Clueless, which, they're half
stepbrother,
half siblings, and they hook up. But, this was like...
Well, there's also a age disparity there that's even more concerning.
Sure. Sure.
Because Cher is not 18 yet.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, so listening to the story of the grandma taking her to Nev Campbell's trailer and saying, okay, so this guy came into town and then the mom left and I pretty much raised Nev, and then Nev and Denise's mom are half sisters, and then so Denise Richards is Nev's niece. Again, I'm repeating what I just said because I'm still trying to believe it. Like ripple after ripple, huh? Just I don't want to say don't make it so confusing, because to some of our listeners, they might be like, well, I watched the movie and it wasn't confusing to me. And I was like, it was pretty convoluted.
I walked out of it the first time I saw it confused as fuck.
Okay.
But I was also 18 and I was I'm here for the boobies.
Okay.
So
yeah. That's why I married you, because you're a simple man.
I am a simple man.
You really are. But look, you really shouldn't make fun of me then I'm a 51-year-old woman, and the plot was a little confusing. Now,
right.
But then after the end, and they're doing the credits.
Which I love how they did that.
Yes, yeah, I do too. But thank you, because I don't know, was it for the stupid viewers like me that needed explanation?
It's literally, there was holes in the movie. There's holes in the story. They're like, how did this get pulled
purpose?
Off? Intentionally.
Okay, so they could do said things.
Right, and this was during the era that there wasn't nothing going on during the credits. The credits
I know.
Got up and left the fucking theater.
By the way, that is what I found fascinating. Because they started doing the credits. Remember when Nev walks away?
Or if they did do anything fun, it was literally just that. Like Ferris Bueller at the end of telling everybody to go home.
Right. Or, exactly. Well, actually, that's what I was going to say. Exactly. But, and then, so when Nev walks away with the briefcase, And sorry, if you haven't seen the movie, I'm spoiling it, but don't listen to us if you haven't seen it.
Yeah,
But
spoiler alert, Nev is behind everything.
yes, and
And
so as is Bill
she's
Murray.
the smartest chick in the room.
Yes, and I loved her blonde do at the end, though. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was cool.
But anyway, she walks away with the briefcase, and I literally turned to you, and I didn't say anything, but I'm like, what? Because it's just like, okay, there's a lot of holes here in the story. But then they started doing the thing. That was actually my first thing, when they started showing the shots of the different things that happened along the way. I was like, wow, for 1998? That's pretty fucking smart. Because I don't, like you just said, I don't recall them doing that back then.
Yeah.
So that's one. And then two, I'm like, oh, now you're filling in the holes.
Yeah.
And speaking of filling in the holes, apparently Kevin Bacon was filling in Denise Richards.
Yes. A lot of them.
As well.
All of them.
All of them, exactly. I mean, Denise, just girl. I mean, I guess you played your part right.
The beautiful part of the whole movie, though, is the reveal that Bill Murray knew everything that was fucking going on in the entire movie.
It's beautiful.
And
then he gets his money.
He gets his
she
money.
Gets okay. So it was 8. Okay, so you tell me how this is divvied up, and I want you to break it down. This is a quiz. 8.5 million. Okay, that they basically stole from Teresa Russell, Denise's mom, meaning. Right. You know, or suckered out of her, I guess you could say. 8.5 million.
I got the impression that the 8.5 million that was paid out from Denise Richards' own trust.
No, she said that her mom had to tap into her trust.
Right.
But that was also the scene she was acting when she broke his big glass thing, and when she... Remember when she said, you asshole?
Oh, yeah,
so that was part of the acting scene, so I don't know how much of that was true. But she did say, Mom had to get into my trust.
I think that was part of the motivation is...
Oh, sure.
She knew she had all this money.
Oh, yeah.
So she couldn't access it.
No, she couldn't get it till her mom died.
Right.
Which is interesting, then. Kill the mom.
Well, but that's
that
motive.
Nah. Oh, gotcha.
That's clear motive.
What are you, a cop now?
Yeah.
Okay, apparently. Yeah, like me taking all my notes earlier. Yeah, exactly. You're like, what are you, an investigator?
That's right.
Yeah, I am. Actually,
I'm a movie investigator.
I'm a movie investigator. I take notes. That's what I do for our podcast, because you know why? I care about our listeners.
I investigate the movies.
I know. I'm investigating the plot, and my husband's investigating the boobies. Look, someone's got to do it. But I will say, okay, the threesome scene... I know Nev didn't take her shirt off or anything, but that was pretty hot. That was pretty hot.
Anything? First of all, everyone's hot to begin with because
sure,
not only is everybody
people.
Beautiful physically,
yes,
but it's also Florida, so everything is humid.
So
everybody's
hot.
Sweating constantly.
It's constantly sweating.
I got stung by a mosquito just watching this movie.
I know.
Because there's so
my
much.
Hair went up 3 levels, because when my hair and the humidity went up 3 levels just sitting on the couch watching this.
Let's talk about hair for a second.
Okay.
Because
I like Nev's hair.
This is 1998.
Yeah.
Which I believe...
I mean, did Nev walk out of the craft into this?
When was Scream 2? Was that 1997?
Well, the
because
original...
I know they made it right away.
Yes. Scream is 96.
Scream was 96. I just didn't know if Scream 2 was 97 or 98. I want to say 97.
Okay, but where are you going with that?
Where I'm going with that is that this movie was 98.
Scream 2 is 97.
Okay. And I feel like Nev's hair in this movie is kind of an homage to Courtney Cox's weird...
I don't. Guess also what was 96? This was 98, right?
This is 98.
This is 98. The Craft was 96. I literally kept...
Oh, yeah, no, The Craft...
No, I kept watching Nev in this going, did you just step out of The Craft into this movie?
And Party 5's going on the whole fucking time.
I know. There's more than Party 5 going on. There was it's crazy. She had the same hair as in The Craft. Same lipstick, right? Same
yeah,
like kind of goth look.
Kind of eyeliner. Yeah, I mean she's it's weird because her character isn't particularly gothy in this movie, but
No,
she
it's
does
not.
kind of.
Yeah, but she's trying to be a badass.
Well, she's a troubled girl, drugs and everything like that. I would actually say it's less gothy even than The Craft, because Fairuza Balk's the more gothy character in The Craft.
And good point, because Party of Five, which I stated earlier, was where I discovered where Nev blew up.
Nev, where'd you find the time?
Where did you? Because Party of Five was 1994 to 2000. Okay.
During that time, you made 3 Scream movies: The Craft, and Wild Things, and probably something that I'm not
also,
remembering.
Now I get it. You know what I said earlier? She's not showing boobies. Probably it's in her contract. It's got to be, right?
Oh, you think it might have been?
Oh,
do you think it might have been a television thing that she's?
Yes, because this is 98. Party of Five was still going on, 94 to 2000. She was kind of the good sister in Party of Five. Not the good sister, but she was the okay, by the way, everything was dramatic in Party of Five. Okay, it was like, oh my god, I'm Nev Campbell, I'm the sister, I'm taking care of all these kids because my parents died in a crash. Okay, it's it's a very deep show, okay, but very good. But that's gotta be it. Oh, and I'll give you an example. Jessica Biel.
Party of Five should have ended with Matthew Fox becoming Batman.
Right? That would have been cool.
That would have been hilarious.
This is a prime example. Jessica Biel.
Yeah.
What's the show? Seventh Heaven?
Was it? I never watched
Seventh Heaven. Okay. This was a big deal at the time.
I know these Christian television shows at the time. I couldn't fucking do it. I can't do it now.
I never watched Seventh Heaven. Well, okay, I'm sorry. I saw a couple episodes. It ran from 96 to 2006. This is on the WB.
10 years.
10 years. Jesus Christ. Sorry to you Christian listeners. But listen, this is a prime example. I don't know if you remember this. I always have to bring in the podcast my useless knowledge of things, as you know. So this podcast is no different, this episode. Jessica Biel was in Seventh Heaven. First of all, you know what that show's about. Very straight-laced. For the most part, I think what's the dad was.
I actually have no clue what it's about. I just know that it's a family.
The dad is a reverend, and he's got multiple kids. Yeah, exactly. Snore. He's got multiple kids, and he's trying to raise the family, but of course be like, keep them all, like keep all the kids good. Okay, Jessica.
Was Lacey Chabert in this, or is she?
No, Lacey Chabert was Party of Five.
Okay.
Let's get our show straight.
Somebody else came out of Seventh Heaven, right?
Beverly Mitchell is who you're thinking.
But
anyway, this is very important. Catherine Hicks was in it as well. She was the mom. She's great. Anyway, I'm going somewhere with this. Please, Jessica Biel during this 10-year run played this very, very reverend's daughter, gotta be straight-laced, and then she did like Maxim or some shit like that, one of those magazines, probably Maxim, and oh my god, everybody.
So did Nev Campbell.
No, can I finish? I'm just saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm giving you like an example of the same thing that was going on with Nev Campbell.
Gotcha, yeah.
It was a very big deal. Like, though everybody went nuts. Jessica Biel. Now, have you seen Jessica Biel? First of all, she's married to Justin Timberlake.
She still looks great.
She still looks amazing, but back then she was hotter because she was younger, but she's still hot. But she did like Maxim, and I know somebody's out there listening that's going to quote me on or looking up what magazine it was. I'm not going to sit here on my phone and do that. I believe it was Maxim. But anyway, it was a magazine like that. Everyone lost their fucking mind because it was like, oh, no, you can't.
But that was still while the show was on the air, right?
Yes,
because you said that show ended in 2006.
Yes,
so she did the remake of Texas Chainsaw Massacre during that time, and she was wearing very minimal clothes in that too. I mean, not that she was, like putting it out there. Okay. It's just it was a sweaty set,
All I'm trying to say is I was trying to equate it to the same thing as Nev Campbell. Nev Campbell goes and she's doing Party of Five, then she goes to do a threesome, and then you got to come back to Party of Five. It's a big deal.
She did spread in Spin magazine, the record magazine.
Right.
I don't think it exists anymore. So it wasn't a men's interest magazine by any stretch, but she was the celeb du jour, at the time, and the photo shoot for that magazine was hot as hell.
But I mean, I think a little bit different. Nev doing, okay, well, I guess if you're going to compare them, Nev leaving Party of Five to go do a threesome on Wild Things, okay, and then come back. Yes, weird. Jessica Biel playing a reverend's daughter, and then going to do a sexy, whatever magazine it was at the time, if it wasn't Maxim, it doesn't matter, a sexy thing, and then come back. Like, again, everybody lost their minds. I remember when it happened, to the day, because it was like, even Jessica came out, I think, and was like, dudes, what is the big deal? And I think she was even quoted as saying, I am getting pigeonholed in this character for 10 years. She wanted to fucking show her boobs or something because, being all straight-laced in this character, and maybe that's what Nev was doing. Who knows? We don't know.
Well, I mean, as far as I'm aware, neither one of those actresses, crossed the line into actually doing nudity.
I agree.
So
but now
maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm not, but it certainly wasn't out there.
Overt.
Overt.
Right, but now do you get what I'm saying? Perhaps now, because you reminded me she was still doing Party of Five, perhaps that's why it was probably in Nev's clause.
I think it's one of these things where she's
never showed her boobs.
I think Nev in Party of Five is I kind of equate her to Claire Danes from My So-Called Life.
Yeah.
The difference is, unfortunately, My So-Called Life got canceled during its debut season. So even though it blew up, and Claire Danes had was the focus of everybody. Everybody was in
Homeland, which is a great fucking show.
But Claire Danes, because she lost her show, was able to just go off and do whatever was offered to her. Whereas Nev Campbell's show, Jessica Biel's show, was successful,
right?
And so they were under contract, so they had to keep coming back. I can't now that we're actually putting the math together on dates and everything, I can't imagine how Nev Campbell slept for 6 years of her life.
Yeah.
Between 94 and 2000 in particular, while that show was on the air, she was in a lot of movies. She was doing a lot of interviews, a lot of photo shoots, a lot of everything else.
And now Scream was also continuing, and maybe that's why she said no to the last one, because she's like, dude, I'm fucking done.
No, she said no because she wanted paper.
Well, no, she wanted paper. I get it. That's what I'm saying. But I'm saying Nev could keep working. It'd be interesting to see Nev come out in something other than Scream, all of a sudden.
No, I would.
You know what I mean?
Well, no, she has a successful TV show right now.
Oh yeah.
She's on The Lincoln Lawyer, which has been going on for 2 years now.
My bad. Well, I guess I meant big screen movie is what I meant.
Oh yeah.
But that's what I meant.
But again,
yeah.
Who cares? If you're getting TV money, it's just as good.
No,
nowadays.
I mean, look at what's her name, 90210. Couldn't stand her on it, but now, Jesus Christ. The redhead.
You've gone so far out.
No, I know. You know what I'm talking about? The boxing movie?
The
$1 Million Baby or something? What the hell's her name?
Oh my God.
Isn't this
Hilary
terrible?
Swank?
Yes. Okay, she's got it. No, I was giving you an example. She's won an Oscar, but she's doing a television show now. I just saw that the other day. I thought that was fascinating. The Alaskan something or other. Not that I'm going to watch it, but I'm also not a big Hilary Swank fan. But I'm just saying that's great. You can always, I'm giving an example, you can segue into TV. You know what I mean?
Well,
you don't have to
segue from TV. But
or from TV.
Right now, television is a prestige market, whereas it wasn't back in the 90s. People wanted to make movies, they didn't want to make TV. And now it's kind of the opposite.
Right. So, I know. Anyway, we segued again.
We have really segued off.
But I don't want it to be this thing okay, we've been talking for an hour. Did we not talk about the movie? I think we talked about the movie. The plot thing, I was a little stuck on. I just, again, what? But then when it finally ended, also great when she's on the boat and she makes, never ever, if you don't trust someone, my rule of thumb, never ever take a drink that somebody else made for you if you don't trust them. You know what I mean? It could be anything. Your friend could slip a Mickey in there just to like mess you up, just, because they think it's funny. Or, a dude at a bar could put a roofie in there. If obviously Nev threw something in there for Matt Dillon, but it was great because she said, and I believed it, he didn't want to drink it. And she's like, come on. She's like, don't you think I'd know how to drive this thing before I tried to kill you? It was classic.
You should never be on a boat with just one person, aside from yourself.
I agree. How many people you need on a boat?
You need 3 people minimum.
Okay. Why? Because you think one of them's going to kill the other one, or just in case something happens?
Or there's a good chance they're trying to kill you. Okay. If you're the only 2 out on a boat, the only 2. Like, it'd be different if, like, I owned a boat and we had been sailing out together like Captain and fucking Tennille.
Which would never happen, right? Because my ocean thing.
Exactly. Yeah. But, like, let's say we were yacht people. Okay, it's a different story. But
which I do like sailboats.
It's hey, you and I just did some really illegal shit.
Yeah.
Let's go on a boat ride together.
I know. Well, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
Don't do that.
Okay, first of all...
Also, if you're waiting for the other person to give you money... And they say, let's go on a boat ride first. Don't do it.
Actually, on my note, trust him on the boat. It was so stupid. First of all, great point. When he said, by the way, the money's not going to hit for like a day or 2.
Yeah. Then I'll be like, all right, cool. I'm going to hang out at the bar.
Exactly.
For another 2 days.
Yeah.
I'm not getting on the boat with you.
First of all, that scene happened and I went, so goddamn stupid because you know what's going to happen. Then they're on the boat, and right when he says, can you check the sail? I was just like, Jesus, Kevin Bacon, you're not that stupid. You know what I mean? It's terrible. And also the scene right before they're discussing going on the boat, like Matt Dillon brings out 2 beers, and they're Coors. Jesus, you have $8.5 million. We can't do something better than this? Than Coors?
Coors got the sponsorship.
Ugh.
It's like...
terrible. It wasn't Coors Light. It was regular Coors. I don't know which one is worse.
We just watched a movie that you were like, I can't believe they have Pepsi in here.
Oh, jeez. Well, we just did... Leviathan.
Leviathan, yeah. Leviathan of all fucking movies.
God. By the way, Leviathan, folks, lost a half a star in my Letterboxd review because there was...
Coke?
No, because there was Pepsi in there. Pepsi's terrible. Okay? Terrible. So I don't want you as a sponsor, Pepsi.
Well, I mean, Coors is too.
But White Rain, if you're listening from last episode, we're still here if you want to call. Yeah, but that was stupid. That scene was terrible. So really, the money's not going to be there for a day. Jesus, wow, I see where this is coming. And then you're on the boat, fix the sail, we see where this is coming. And then... Kevin, you tried to hang on.
And it's because you had the money all along.
You had the money all along. And then when Nev comes out, she looked great, by the way. And she looked great at the end. But then I knew when she was sitting there with Matt Dillon, and then Matt said, go check the sail. Oh my gosh, is that your line again? You knew something was going to happen. But then Nev turns the tables.
The woman always does in these movies. The woman always
does.
The woman always
So, you know what? Things ended as it should. And you know what? The best part is? I think the moral of the story is...
Bill Murray gets paid.
Yes, that. And you don't have to show your boobs to be the last one standing.
Hey, she doesn't even get into a bikini in the movie.
I know. She barely took her tank top off.
Right.
And then at the end, she had a one-piece on.
She's swimming. She's in a one-piece.
That was a hot one-piece suit, though, at the end. I mean, I think. It was good. I'm a chick. I know these things. It was a nice-looking suit.
I'm a guy, and her being in that tank top and just in the regular pool.
Yeah.
Like when she was with Denise Richards.
Yeah.
She still looked good coming out all wet.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah, it's good. It's good, and I was bitching about little things earlier. I never said it wasn't hot. The movie was hot. It kind of did one of these things. Wow, another ripple, and then at the end, whoa, from Nev's quote-unquote grandma telling the story at the end, and then we get hit at the end with everything, and then it was just it was just a lot to digest. That's all. It was
a lot to digest.
I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I gotta stand by it. I'm probably, I always like to say what I think my Letterboxd review is going to be. I'm probably at a 4 on this. No, of course. I can't go higher than that.
I'll tell you, my current Letterboxd review, because I looked it up from when I last watched it.
What are you, 4.5 for?
No, I had it in there as a 3.5. But I could go up to a 4 rewatching it now.
Did it lose a half a star because we didn't see Matt Dillon's penis?
Probably. Yeah, that was it.
Probably why.
No, it was a 5-star movie. It lost a whole star.
A whole star. Wow. You were expecting a lot from Matt Dillon then.
I'm like, dude. Yeah. Your top build.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
What
are you doing becoming second fiddle to Kevin Bacon because of one scene?
Yeah. I don't know if you're listening.
That Matt Dillon, there's probably something to that. If I ever meet Matt Dillon, I'm going to ask him. I'm like, did you walk out or make Wild Things, right?
Yeah.
You make it. You haven't seen the movie yet.
Yeah.
But you make it. You're like attracted to this script or whatever. Okay. You're like you like working with the director or whatever
Kevin
reason.
Bacon's behind it as producing.
Right. So, whatever brought you to this movie. Right. And you're like, I am the lead actor in this movie.
Yes.
Like this is a great role for me, even if it wasn't like a good movie. It's like, this is a chance for me to be everyone's focus, like the male focus of this movie. And then the movie releases and it has a scene with Kevin Bacon's dick that that was an accident and wasn't even supposed to be in the movie to begin with, and that's all anybody fucking talked about.
Right.
Was the threesome. Okay, well, you were part of that, Dylan, I guess.
Right.
No one really cared about you in that scene. Sorry.
No. I honestly was like, are these two going to hook up now?
Yeah.
I didn't know. When he turned from the shower and he smiled at him, by the way, I was like, I don't know where this guy... The only reason I thought that, I had no idea where this is going to go at that point. And when he turned and, showed all his stuff, and then he smiled at Kevin, Matt Dillon. Sorry, I got confused for a second. Kevin Dillon, which is his brother or something, isn't it? Right. Yeah. But when Kevin Bacon turned and smiled at him, and then his stuff was showing, I was just like, Jesus, are these two going to do it now? Because at that point, I was like, I don't know what to expect. Just saying.
Yeah, I just think that I could see I've wrapped work on this movie, and I'm like, this is going to be like a fucking banger for me. And then just nothing.
Yeah.
Because all anybody wants to talk about
so
Bacon's dick.
I'm segueing back to this too.
It's like if you were watching Footloose, right?
Yeah.
Like, let's say Kevin Bacon made Footloose, which he did. But like, let's say he like made the movie. He's like, man, I can't wait to see this at opening night. And all of a sudden, Chad Lowe's dick is just hanging out.
Yeah.
Right? And so everybody's going to be talking about that.
Where did Chad Lowe come from?
Isn't he the one that... Isn't he his buddy in Footloose? Who am I thinking of?
Oh my God, no! It's the one that died.
Chris Penn.
Chris Penn.
Sorry, yeah, Chris Penn, not Chad Lowe.
God, reaching on Chad Lowe.
So Chris Penn's dick is hanging out.
Yeah.
Goofy ass Chris Penn.
Yeah.
And then no one's talking about Kevin.
Yeah, no, I get
Bacon's performance anymore.
Also, what's weird, going back to what I said, you said maybe they weren't made at the same time. Doesn't matter. This came out in March of '98. July of 1998, There's Something About Mary came out. I mean, I guess I didn't know this at the time because I'm like, I would have watched this and then went, wow.
I think that helped. I think it
helped cleanse people.
I think it helped, well, because, look, Wild Things was a big deal the year it came out.
Sure.
It was a sexy movie with sexy stars that every young boy wanted to see. And, and then, of course, it had the added bonus for the ladies with Kevin Bacon. So it was very talked about for a very short period of time. And this was 24 years ago. If you walked... What do kids do anymore? Is it I'm like, where do they congregate? There's no malls anymore, so I don't know what the hell. But if you went to popular teenage hangout today, and did a poll with these kids,
Right.
Are you even aware of the movie Wild Things? I'm willing to bet 19 out of 20 never even heard of the fucking thing.
No.
But if you ask them the same question about There's Something About Mary, I think more people remember that movie than remember Wild Things.
Yeah.
For better or for worse, I mean, There's Something About Mary is a funny movie.
I saw There's Something About Mary, and I've watched it a million times. Quite a bit. Not a million times, but you know what I mean. I've watched it quite a bit. Very much like it, and yet again, I've never seen Wild Things. And you know what? I'm not mad that this was my first viewing. I'm glad I saw it. Hence why we do Expose, is to expose each other to things we haven't seen. You watching Working Girl last week. I mean, that you haven't ever seen. It's just it's fun. It's fun to see.
That's the point of this whole endeavor, is just to
expose,
generate conversation,
and generate conversation.
Other movies. I already know like the next 2 that I'm going to end up selecting.
Well, speaking of, we are going to wrap this up, but we have to discuss the next movie that is my choice.
Yep.
For Sean for next week, and it is drumroll. That was a terrible drum roll. What was that? Blah, blah, blah. I don't even know what that was. An Officer and a Gentleman, 1982.
Deborah Winger.
Thank you for getting the girl right this time.
Deborah Winger, Richard Gere.
Richard Gere.
And the slut from Leviathan. Which I can't even remember.
Yeah, that's funny. And Louis Gossett Jr., who actually won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for Officer and a Gentleman. And ironically, this just, obviously, because we're in 2022, this just turned 40. So even better chance to watch it. And I will say, folks, my husband was born in 81. Sean was born in 81, and this so Sean was 1 when this came out. Officer and a Gentleman. I was 11.
Yeah, it really went over my head the first time.
The first time around, I don't think Sean got it.
I didn't
And to be fair, I don't remember the year I watched it.
I might have shit myself during
the
movie.
He might have, yes,
I might have shit myself and cried about it.
I'm gonna guess that's a probably fairly good synopsis of what happened. But anyway, that's our next Exposed. Officer and a Gentleman, 1982. It's pretty iconic, people. And Sean has not seen it.
I'm willing to bet that it's going to be a crap movie because there's no boobs in it. Is there boobs
there's boobs.
Is there boobs
and there's doing it in there, too. Yeah. I didn't want to say the F word because, I mean...
Are they bumping uglies?
They're bumping uglies.
They doing the horizontal mambo?
There's the chemistry with Winger and Gere, and they do it. I mean, there's some good sex in this one.
All right.
That's not why we pick our movies, people.
But it's a nice plus.
But it's a nice plus.
Is there without having seen this, I don't want to start the discussion on Officer and a Gentleman, but is the chemistry with Deborah Winger and Richard Gere better or worse than the chemistry of Deborah Winger and Robert Redford? Legal Eagles.
Ooh, Legal Eagles is great. I'm going with Officer and a Gentleman on this one.
Okay.
It's hot.
Is it hotter than Neve Campbell and Denise Richards?
Jesus Christ. It's hot. I don't want to say too much. I'm not going to spoil it. You need to see it. I can't believe you haven't. But again, you're not a bad person for it. But
no, it's pretty much the song that's turned me off of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Up Where We Belong?
Yeah, and it's not that it's a terrible song. It's just an ever-present song.
I get it. But I will say this. I love the movie. The song kind of has at times annoyed me as well. But then when you see the whole movie and it's everything in its entirety, and then the end scene, which is iconic.
Yeah,
I by the way,
I'm aware of the end scene.
I know, and I have so many notes to say about the end scene, but I'm not going to do it now because I'm not going to spoil it.
Well, it's not that episode.
It's not that episode, but I have it. I'm saving it.
Shut your trap.
Shut my trap. It is in my wheelhouse. So, thanks for joining us. I hope.
Thanks for suffering through an extra long episode.
Yes.
Where we barely still talked about Wild Things outside
I
of the
think
nudity.
we did. Oh, I think we did. Look, if you're going to say Wild Things, hey, have you seen Wild Things? Oh, is it the threesome movie? Sorry, but I mean, it is what it is. Yeah, the plot shouldn't have gotten lost. I liked it better than I thought. How about that? I thought that I might rate it a 3 just going into it, and I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, no, this movie is deserving
good.
of a 4.
It really is.
And again,
twists and turns, people.
I'm bumping my rating up from where I had it previously, which was a 3.5. I'm like, as I rewatch it now, I really got involved with like the way the story goes, the fun twists and turns.
Yeah. And I'm kind of glad I waited till later in life to see it. Not gonna lie,
I definitely appreciate it more now than when I saw it as a kid.
Yeah. And the boobies as well.
And the boobies are still the boobies that were there when I was a kid. I just, again, part of it is that Denise Richards never really moved the needle for me.
Yes.
Me personally. I'm not saying that she's ugly or unattractive, but it's like I had already seen the goods.
Yes.
In previous movies.
Yes.
And like you said, she's kind of an annoying character in this movie. Not that I think that's bad for the story, because it's not.
That's like the character.
It definitely takes away from the sexiness a little bit.
Look, I love Footloose. It's, as the 80s girl.
Yeah.
I freaking love Footloose. There was no penis in Footloose, Kevin Bacon, but, the movie's not the poorer for it. It would have been odd. They weren't even allowed to dance, remember, listen to music,
I know, yeah,
let alone whip it out. I mean, Jesus, that's against the law to listen.
Free boob and vacuum and Footloose.
Exactly. But there are boobs, an officer and a gentleman.
I did get to see Lori Singer's boobs years later, though, which is nice.
Yes. What was that in?
Sunset Girl. With Peter Weller of Leviathan fame.
Yeah. Who's beautiful. He's a beautiful man. But okay, we're segueing again. Sorry, people.
This is cinematic universe where we continuously reference.
And by the way, once we probably stop,
so
we'll probably keep talking.
So just so that we don't end this episode without doing it.
Oh, what?
And I know this is still foreshadowing to next week, but is the chemistry of Richard Gere and Deborah Winger better or worse than the chemistry of Richard Gere and Julia Roberts?
Oh, for Christ's sake. There's not even a comparison. I'm telling you, this is a great movie. And
I just needed to name drop Julia Roberts before the episode.
Oh, I get you.
That's it.
Yeah, and White Rain, we should probably drop that too. Right. But you're right. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it almost fucked up.
Is this episode 4?
It's 4th episode.
I know, and to the few of you,
we segued a lot in this episode, and none of those segues led down the path to Julia Roberts.
No, and as episode 4, to all our listeners, Julia Roberts gets dropped in every single episode, so I appreciate that. Very good way to tie that up. So. We will see you next week. Thank you for joining us. And be good.
Be good.
Be good. And cheers. And we will see you next week. Thanks for listening.
See you next time.